I'm looking for a podcast.
No, it's not a podcast.
And Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen from Germany and stuff like that. What an exciting couple of weeks it's been, wouldn't you agree?
And stuff like that.
And stuff like that.
So what episode is this? What are we on?
It's episode 14, right? And it's gone. Well, last week we released the Patreon exclusive episode, which
Shout out.
get around that one. You know, if you want to see, yeah.
You can all go onto your trusty mobiles and your laptops and type in NotaPodkast.com.
NotaPodkast.com, and then you
NotaPodkast.com.
You can NotaPodkast.com, and then you can reach NotaPodkast.com, and then you can reach every single platform, every single area where the Not a Podcast can reach your home theater any day of the month.
Your heart,
your soul,
yeah,
any of that,
anywhere it can reach.
Yep, just gotta Google NotaPodkast.com,
and that's lovely. And that's
what was
lovely.
it again? NotaPodcast.com.
NotaPodkast.com.
I'm pretty sure it's NotaPodcast.com. Yep.
Oh, with a K.
With a K, of course.
With a K.
With a K. You can't forget the K.
Because this is not a podcast.
Because we are... No, it's not... Why would it be a podcast? In fact...
That sounds pretty stupid.
It is kind of stupid. But, what were you going to say?
I was just going to ask how you've been, Jack Kalis.
I've been alright. I watched The Odyssey the other day, actually. Didn't you watch The Odyssey too? Yeah. I watched it in normal movies, though.
I watched it in IMAX.
Oh, and how was that? How was that experience?
Ow. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. No, I thought it was pretty
I think
good
it wasn't The Odyssey, but it was a good movie.
Yeah, well, I thought it was The Odyssey, by Christopher Nolan, but
alas,
you know,
it was not.
Here we go.
It was not Homer's The Odyssey.
Well,
alas.
If only Homer made the movie, you know what I'm saying?
Why don't we call him up?
Yep, I've got him on speed dial. In fact, he's actually a good listener of the podcast, non-podcast.
Actually, we're going to call him in right now.
Homer.
Bring, bring, bring.
Now I will pick up the phone.
No! Did you like my Homer Simpson impression? No!
That sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get to the chopper!
Got to the chopper now!
Get to the chopper now!
Anyway, but that's been pretty cool. How else have you been? You been alright? How's Sydney going? Yeah.
Sydney's treating me well, no complaints.
Yeah, no complaints. This is going to be the first episode, well, since Elliot was in Canada, this is the first episode on Zoom in a very long time.
So
and this
true.
is the start of a new era, really.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to our new digital format. We are evolving. We are, we are changing with the times.
Exactly. The times, they are changing, like Bob Dylan.
Dylan.
It just because it invites more opportunity to get different guests all over Australia. We've got a couple very good ones lined up too. And
we do have
I
very
hope you
good
guys
ones
stick
lined
it
up.
out for that one because they're going to be great. Wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think our guest today was pretty good. Well,
who was our guest today again? Oh, that's right. It was like he razzled, he dazzled, his name was Angus, I believe. Angus Metcalf.
Angus Metcalf, the man, the
Metcalf.
legend, the man, the myth, the legend,
And the legend. Yes. Wow. I thought it was a really great episode today, and I'm excited for you guys at home to listen to it because we uncover quite a few things. Wouldn't you say?
I think so, but I think they're like the suspense is building, and I think we should just let them have it.
Just let him have it, just like that.
Let them have it,
just like
that. Ready?
Nah.
3, 2, 1.
Enjoy. Welcome, Angus Metcalf, to episode 14 of Not a Podcast. How are you, my friend?
I'm okay. You know, I'm existing. I'm enjoying the post-university life at this point in time. Just being able to not leave my house for weeks at a time. It's pretty good. The most of my socialization goes, I go to a bookstore in my local area and I just sit there for 7 hours and read or write something. And then the guy is like, you've bought 2 coffees. What are you working on? And I'm like, I can't tell you. It's too embarrassing.
And what are you working on?
Well, there's a number of things. I'm working on a proposal for a PhD project, which I'd probably do interstate.
Whoa. Let's take a step back. What did you study? What have you graduated in?
Oh,
Who are you?
Of course.
Yeah.
People aren't familiar with me here. Well, my name
Everyone
is Angus.
should be.
Well, no, not really.
He is the Angus
In
Metcalf.
essence, I recently graduated with media and communications with honours at the University of Tasmania, which of course is how I know
Congratulations.
the pair of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Obviously, this is a huge achievement in my life, and I don't just have like an extremely crappy. Like, I've barely ever framed anything. I'm just like, okay, cool. It's just the most expensive thing that I own, just in a wooden frame of a little bit of cheap glass. It's cool. Outside of that, I have... so basically, with that, I've been working on a PhD application process. I have a background in researching, I suppose, online conspiracy theories and hate speech. And I went to an academic conference last year. I met a guy, and I was like, hey, guy, will you give me money so I can yap at you for several years about this thing that I like? And then after a series of negotiations, he was like, hell yeah, why not? Let's just do it. Let's see if we can get funding for it. And that's basically been taking up the entirety of my previous 6 months. Pretty well.
Yeah.
So if you continue your doctorate, your PhD, what would your thesis be? What are you looking to study or research?
Oh, well, it might be a bit of a sensitive subject, but I suppose if I was to boil it down, it would be surrounding the realm of Australian conspiracy theories, I suppose. A special focus on, I want to sort of try and focus on pre-internet and post-internet conspiracy theories. However deep you want me to go, I can go into it. I'm just, I'm aware that certain topics can be sensitive within the state of Tasmania.
Okay, conspiracy theories pre-internet. So are we talking like Abe Lincoln, JFK?
Oh, not quite that far back. It's
like
more
just
there's like who really killed Phar the horse. There is the conspiracy theories that surrounded Harold Holt going missing in the ocean, stuff like that. There's some more sort of bloody, violent stuff that happens a bit later on. But then, as we go forward, the stuff that surrounds like the COVID lockdowns, various sovereign citizens who got themselves in trouble with police, like sort of that kind of thing. And then the proliferation of, I suppose, various theories surrounding gun control and just many pretty high concept political sort of issues, I suppose, is what I'm interested in talking about, in conjunction with the recent rising of internet affordances, which is the buzzword that I'm hearing a lot these days, which is basically this idea that the average person didn't have access to the internet 40 years ago, and now they have a voice, in very vague terms. So it's just like a very complicated project that I managed to get someone to take me seriously on, to actually sort of fund it in a very sort of transdisciplinary kind of way, where I'm pulling from a lot of different disciplines outside of media and comms.
Yeah. Well, Phar Lap, long-time friend of the show, has been brought up 3 times in a row, I think. That's a go for us. And Harold Holt, I mean, how could you not know him? There's a swimming pool.
14, and I'm here. How good is that? Well, yeah. I'm happy to hear such a thing.
And I do think it's funny that Harold Holt infamously went missing in the ocean. Now has a
Sunday
swimming pool.
Stroll in the swim.
Yeah, but now he has a swimming pool in Victoria.
Wait, does he?
He does. He has the Harold Holt Swimming Centre.
I would want to
nice
swim
pool.
there.
I would. You know what? If I was the PR guy, I would have named it like a park after him or something like that. To stop jokes of this manner.
Probably not a pool.
Not a pool, no.
That's okay. Maybe we should have PR'd Harold Holt next time.
I'll make some calls when I get all this PhD money, and I'll see what strings I can pull.
Great. So what else have you been up to, kind of post university in the realm of the adult world?
So I suppose the most before I go into the thing that's taken up the most of my time, I've been working a lot at my day job. I sort of work at a small family distillery. And I've been going off into the world, driving around Sydney. I was in Bathurst and Dubbo a couple of weeks ago, and this Thursday I'm headed towards Brisbane to the Brisbane Gin Festival, and I'm just I'm flying around like a globetrotter at this point, just sort of slinging bottles of gin.
So your distillery's in gin, then it's a gin distillery.
Yeah, it's a legit distillery. I did all the paperwork back in the day.
Oh, no, sorry, I wasn't like...
Yeah, look, it is a moonshine operation, I get it, but
No, that's so cool. So what kind of gins do you have? Are you doing like the real floral stuff or the exotic?
Oh god, I have to do another
stuff?
advertisement. Like legitimately, I was doing a market in Sandy Bay a couple of weeks ago, and like some journos came up to me, and I had to do PR, and I got in the fucking paper.
Oh,
like the Mercury was. I was on like page 8 or something of the Mercury. Me just like pouring a bottle of alcohol, and I had to be very polite to these people. I'm like, oh fuck, I have to go into full PR mode and actually like say nice things about this market and sort of. It's a surreal thing where it's just, oh, I'm gonna be known by this distillery for the rest of my life. But look, there's a range of like botanical ones. There's some fruity ones. There's some whiskey. There's a variety of other spirits, just whatever we can get access to and we can make essentially. And there's basically just 3 of us, and I'm the entirety of the IT and the PR because I know how to use a computer.
So, do you own and run this company? Do you want to shout it out?
No, it's my family's business, so it's my dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's but look, it's, as I said, 3 people, so there's a lot of multifaceted roles. Like we're knee deep in taxes at the moment, so I'm intimately familiar with like your ADNs and such, just trying to get stuff in order.
End of financial year, I get it.
So much fun.
So what is the distillery called? What is it?
Oh, Metcalf Distillery. It's not very creative.
No, that's okay.
That's pretty cool.
So, but now people know where to get their gin from.
They absolutely do. Come by
Metcalf
soon.
Distillery.
I had to fix a problem by giving us incredibly cheap shipping recently. So if you want to get your bottles delivered to you very quickly and very cheap, here you go before I have to change it back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, but people do need shipping. Period.
They need shipping.
They need shipping. They need cheap shipping at Metcalf Distillery. Not a sponsor.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to be spruiking my wares here. I was just going to talk about weird books I read.
And speaking of weird books you've read, what are you reading at the moment?
Oh, fuck. What am I reading at the moment? Generally
what have
speaking...
you read this year, notably?
Well, the problem is I can't really think of notably because I've read like 70 plus books, so I can't really like troll back into my mind and be like, okay, this was the definitive best book because I haven't made up my mind just yet. I mean, like, look, like, I think last year when I was doing some work with Jack on a project we were doing together, like, I showed him, like, a graph of everything I read for honours, and it was, like, 130 plus things, which was, like, a record by far and away, because I just had to do heaps of stuff for that project.
Yeah, like, 170 books is crazy, like...
Did I say 170? I meant to say, like, 130. I think I combined the 70 and the 30, my bad.
I think
130. 130, that's still amazing. Like, I had started a New Year's resolution to read 1 book a month. I haven't even got through the first
Jack
one
got
yet.
through, Jack opened Green Eggs and Ham and went, oh, I kind of don't want green eggs and ham. Close book.
Yeah, that was another fun. Like, speaking of ham, you obviously had Alex on a couple of months ago, and I was in that magazine. Alex somehow was like, oh, yeah. So I have an essay, which was an excerpt of the book that I've been researching.
Alex, who's doing very exciting things at the moment with his recent music live gigs. Yeah, with Ham and...
Yeah, look, the hottest little guy who ever do it, Alex the Goat.
Alex the Goat.
Forever we just watch on over
Kingston.
here and we just marvel at what that kid's up to.
Yeah, but he's doing great things in the local community. So shout out Ham.
Shout out Alex.
Shout out Alex. So okay, what kind of books are you reading then?
They're typically most of them are non-fiction. I did recently read The Count of Monte Cristo for shits and gigs recently. Just because I've seen it all over my social media feed is like people just talking about The Count of Monte Cristo, and I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a go, why not? And I was like, very complicated book, but it made me giggle a lot.
Is it a long one?
Yeah, it's like over 1,000 pages.
But
the thing is, like, I drive a lot for work, so I want really long books that I can just like put it on and then not have to think about the next episode or whatever. I can just like put that shit on and it's gonna go for like 20 hours, and I can just drive and not worry about my phone wrecking anything.
Yeah, no, fair enough. What's it like about?
What's The Count of Monte Cristo about?
Yeah.
We're just going to pivot the whole episode of the show into a review of The Count of Monte Cristo. That'd be awesome. Oh, it's like a long revenge story.
Okay.
A man is framed for conspiracy in Napoleonic France, and then he gets chucked in jail, and he escapes with the assistance of a wise and old sage, and then he gets heaps and heaps of money, and then he does all of his elaborate revenge stuff, in essence.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of like I mean, what I was reading about like the history of it. It's the equivalent of like an 18th century soap opera that has since been like reclaimed and regarded as one of the great novels ever written. You know.
I like a good revenge story. You know.
Oh look, like it's hard to like I like a lot of the movies that I tend to watch, sort of like revenge thrillers, tend to have a little bit of the Count of Monte Cristo in it. So I was more being like, oh, so that's how Old Boy did this. That's how The Chaser did. You know what I mean? It was kind of like an intellectual exercise, me being like, okay, so you stole all of your ideas from this, and that's kind of awesome. I love that. I love that. But then outside of that, the one fiction book that I've read in the past year, they tend to be, apart from that, all nonfiction, tend to be within the realm of the humanities. So there's a lot of sociology and a lot of philosophy, some psychology. I've read a random assortment of biology ones recently, just so I can round myself out. I tend to sort of write a lot of things that are in a very transdisciplinary way. And unfortunately, that requires you to read a lot of different kinds of books to make sure that you're not full of shit. I'm trying to think of like some decent ones.
You can never be too educated, right? So you got to read these kind of books.
I suppose this is true, but it makes you a little bit annoying because you can't have a conversation with someone without saying, I read an interesting book about that recently, and then you go on a 5-minute tangent about this book that this other person hasn't read, and you're half remembering it because it was from 6 months ago, so I'm like, I have to resist doing that at this point.
Oh, don't worry, I went through a massive Anthony Bourdain phase about 6 months ago where I just smashed through all of his books. And I was like, guys, you have to read it. Like, guys, he has, like, what he's saying is, like, just mind-blowing crazy shit. And everyone's like, okay. Like, cool. And I'm like, no, guys, like, my life.
Oh, look, I have plenty of friends who are like, that's it, I'm becoming a chef or whatever because of him. So I'm just like, I think that's a beautiful thing. I can't wait for Lara's chef arc. That's going to be a really cool thing to see for the show.
Today I made toast.
To make toast, you have a big fancy knife. You put heaps of like butter or whatever it is you chefs do. I love that for you. This is a really interesting area for you.
Yeah, I think I should quit my day job.
Yeah, I think you should. I think it would be a really good idea. I think you should do it, Jack. Right?
Have segments from the show. You know, just cut it off. Lara
cooking
segment.
With Lara.
Cooking with Lara.
It's like so.
Ham and cheese toast. Cut. In fact, this isn't even getting aired right now. We're just going to go straight into her making a toasty.
It's just like 5 minutes of me being like, do I take the egg out yet? Is it hard-boiled? 5 or 7 minutes, guys.
I want to see you like put heaps of like you don't even like grate the pepper or anything. It's just peppercorns. And you just break your teeth trying to bite into it. I think that would be awesome for your viewership.
I really think it would. At the expense of my teeth, if my orthodontist is listening, this is your sign to clock out.
Exactly, yeah. This is just it's satire. It's parody. It's fine.
So true. That opens the realm for dangerous things, though. If we just go, it's satire, then it's not a podcast could go anywhere.
Podcast can go anywhere,
places, very dangerous places.
Yeah. Speaking of dangerous places and conspiracy theories, we are aware that you have a successful YouTube channel.
I'd say it's a niche YouTube channel that is very unsuccessful, but it's just a couple of people like me and they watch me.
What's it called again?
It's called TheOleRazzleDazzle. No spaces. It's just it's just a channel I started just for fun. I had a bit of spare time and I was just like, I want to learn video editing more intently than I was initially doing at the media school. Just learn a little bit of graphic design and audio recording, XYZ. And then I learned that I'm an extremely verbose nerd and I can't shut the hell up for the life of me. So the videos just got increasingly long and they required more people to be on. And these days, I do it a bit more casually than I once did. So, I spent 2 years working on a sort of a video essay about a film that I had a sort of a weird take on. And I worked with Jack on the soundtrack for that a little bit, if you wanted to get into that. But, it was just something that I just did in my own free time between sort of university and my day job and just various other things that I was doing, more or less.
That one was Anatomy of Fusion, right? Wait, what's it called?
The video is called Where is the Zone of Interest, which is about the
Zone of
Interest. There you go.
My whole life, since those movies came out, I've always got the Zone of Interest and Anatomy of Fusion mixed up for some reason, because they came out
I was sort of
around
thinking,
this.
like, well, you're off the mark there, Jack. You know, so I wasn't gonna try and make you look too foolish. I really valued our time together. And you've really shown me how little you care about our collaboration. So whatever.
So we did Star Wars or something like that. What was that?
So was this for us people that don't know? Was this a short film? Was this a documentary? What are we?
Oh yes, I didn't clarify that. So it's a long form video essay. It clocked in at just over 5 hours. So that's approximately, like, if you are thinking about it, it's about just over 60k words. And I managed to sort of do a lot of editing to make it flow together a fair bit. But it just was a video essay about a film that then sort of went towards a lot of different kinds of topics to sort of try and explain the eccentricities of the film and the sort of the landscape that it was released into and what the director has said about it since. And yeah, it was just like the biggest thing I've ever made, and I think it's my favorite thing that I've made.
Yeah, well, I think that it's still under... What's that? 5 hours is still under the Cleopatra movie, so you've got some editing to do.
Yeah, look, I'm sure I could bring back in some tangents or something. There are so many topics where I'm like, I'm not even going to allow myself to touch that because I could write so many more words about that, but I just have to. I think at the very end of it, I talk about how, like, I feel like I've been negligent. Like, this is too short for what my heart desires for this to be responsible about this topic. But, like, I'm one man and I'm very tired. I can't do this for another year, dude, just for an extra couple of tangents.
Fair enough. So what else, besides your, like, is all your content kind of in this essay format, like video essay format, or...
Yeah, typically, I'm not a good fiction writer, so I generally have not been towards films much. During the pandemic, I wrote one film with a group of friends, but that was just for shits and gigs, more or less. You could potentially do an episode of the show if you wanted to review that horrible film, because it would probably be pretty funny. But typically, it's all just like essays. I usually just get something stuck in my brain, and I just like write it to get it out of my system, and then I decide... Do I want to make this, or do I just want to sort of move on by, more or less, is my decision-making process. And more recently, because I've been working on, like, a book project, a lot of those weird little tangents have just been like, oh, I'll just talk about it in the book. So the video essay content has been slow going. I would like to try and adapt my honors thesis into a video essay at some point, but I just don't have the time at this at this small increment, just because I'm so busy with work and the PhD sort of proposal stuff.
Yeah. So you mentioned book. Is that an upcoming thing? Is that a sneak peek?
I haven't sold it yet, no. And I haven't taken it to like a publisher or an agent, but like it's getting there. I'm gonna finish it before I send it around. Okay. It's in essence, I spent an entire semester trying to like boil it down into a sentence, but it's kind of about media consumption ethics. This sort of like I've been obsessed with a couple of questions in the past year or so. 2 years where I've been sort of like trying to figure out like why do people say that like I'm a different person after they see a movie, or like why people get really upset when like what are the philosophical consequences of someone getting really upset when a celebrity really disappoints them. Like what does that say epistemically about like us as young media consumers, people who sort of identify ourselves with certain media objects. So, like, to try and answer those questions, which I thought would be, like, a 20-minute kind of adventure, it's spiraled out of control, and I've just accepted it, and it's no longer a video essay, it's like a book, because it just has to be that big.
Yeah, that's a really interesting topic, though, like, that, I mean, we're kind of the target of that, of us, like, you watch a movie and you go, oh, he's so mean. Or like, wow, like I really like that character that becomes your like...
You take on their identity for the next week or so. It's like, I'm Batman, you know?
Yeah,
you're Batman. He's literally Batman. It's this fascinating thing where like, I feel like a lot of people, like, they sort of notice it, but they don't really think about how interesting it really is. And it's just been something where I just watch people and I feel like a little anthropologist from Mars. I'm just like, that's a weird thing that you do. Like, no, hang on, you got to stop and think about that. That's really cool. Because I think it also has, like, sort of impacted how you relate to other people. Like, you sort of, like... I mean, for example, it's some behaviors that I've unlearned during my time that I was in the media school, where I found myself sort of, like, detached from other students, because here I was sort of trying to make friends over, like, Korean films or, like, weird Japanese movies and whatever. And you're sort of, like, mainly around guys who really like Coppola and Scorsese. And you're kind of like, it's this thing where you're kind of like, you want to try and connect to these people, but like your vocabularies of self seem so different. And you're like, I found myself sort of feeling rejection anxiety over various people. So I just didn't make many friends during my undergraduate. But then, like, I was like, hang on, I shouldn't be, like, trying to staunch on people with how awesome my movie taste is or how sick my record collection is or whatever. I should be trying to, like, extend olive branches to people so that we can, like, share things together, we can discover things together. And that sort of, like, flicked a light switch on in my head where I was like, hang on, I feel like a lot of people don't actually think about that. That's a really neat little topic, and I should, like, try and write something about it. And then, 2 years later, I don't even want to think about how many books it's been, but like it's been a very long time sink, in essence.
Yeah, but I mean that's a very like introspective take, and like, I mean I'm sure Jack and I can relate to that. Is the type of people that are in the media school, especially the guys, Interstellar, the greatest movie ever made, and it's like that's one movie.
Yeah, have you seen anything that wasn't made in America? Like, again, it's that thing where like it's really easy to dig into that bag, but I'm sort of trying to like not. I have a little motto where it's like, even if I agree with it sometimes, I'm still curious as to why we do it. So it's that sort of stepping back and sort of trying to interrogate what it means. And then like 100K words later, I've finished like a third of the book. So it's like it's hellish.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember. Oh gosh, I don't even know when it was. I remember reading, I think it was an article, I don't think it was a book, on how long it took for like K-dramas and like Japan and just like the rest of the world to break into Hollywood, because it was so secluded for such a long time that really it's still having to break in now.
Yeah.
And like French films and stuff, like all like, you listen to it with English dubs, or like even Squid Game. Like I remember when Squid Game came out, and I mean the English dub was not good. Like, no. It's okay.
I've played these games before.
I will say, if you're ever in a sad mood, watching like some English dubs from like a Korean film, they really can make you giggle. Like the English dub to Oldboy is absolutely hilarious. Like the original is so spectacular and dramatic and horrifying, and then you just like hear this like overworked white guy who cannot match the mouth diction of this dude, and you just it turns it into the most righteous comedy ever made. It's kind of awesome.
And that's probably...
It's kind of there's a beautiful aura to both experiences, you know what I mean? And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think it's probably a greater reflection on us, kind of, as a demographic of, do we have the attention span to kind of sit down and watch a movie and subtitles, or are we just having movies on for the sake of listening and, doing something else in the meantime? Because, I mean, like, if you're watching a movie that's not in English, you have to sit down and pay more attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I suppose that is, like, oh god, like, I think I have to try and save you the lecture on my sort of thoughts on that. I had, like, I was invited onto another podcast by an old teacher of mine, and we had this episode where we were talking about translation issues, and, like, I went on so many wild tangents that day about, like, various licensing issues and, like, weird stuff I'd read about ancient Rome. Like, it was such an unhinged thing, and I want to try and spare you that. But I will say that, like, I think people can consume things because it's comforting, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, so long as you're sort of critical of what you consume and you actually think about it and you don't get angry about having to think about it, which I think is a lot of the problems that we sort of experience within our social media environment, sort of placed into a sort of a little, that's sort of where I think it sort of starts. And again, that's a neat little thing that I'm sort of trying to sort of think very deeply about and sort of provide somewhat of an answer for. I would love to write like a weird essay about like book talk and like a weird like book talk girlies. It'd be so fun for me. There's so many weird little things that I want to do, but I'm like, I don't know if a publisher would take me seriously or indulge my sort of silly fascination with various little things. So I have to try and be tactical, but...
Yeah, that's a dangerous conversation to have, because I think on one hand, I think Book Talk did a lot for kind of helping people get back into books. Like, I feel like I definitely know people that are reading a lot more because of it. But on the other hand, you aren't getting nuanced opinions from other people because they're reading a book, finishing it, going online, seeing other opinions and going, oh yeah.
Like, yeah, that's my opinion. It's actually, I took it from, I mean, the thing is, like, people, and obviously I work within the video essay realm, and like, you do have to be careful when you are like you're writing, you have to credit, like, oh, I formed that opinion from someone else's brain. Like, I've just taken someone else's argument and I've just agreed with it for years. You have to, like, really be careful about not accidentally plagiarizing someone when you're in a public domain. Is a thing that I've noticed where, like, I find, especially if I'm sort of trying to write this book, I have to, like, oh, fuck, I got that from a video essay 3 years ago. I need to, like, figure out how to cite that, even though it's metastasized in my brain, and I don't know how to cite, like, a half-formed opinion anymore. you know, it's like this weird little thing that when we talk about how, like, you watch a movie, it changes your life, and it becomes this little part of your mental vocabulary. And, like, what's your ownership over that is sort of a weird little thing. And then video essays are just an entire another thing. Like, I remember being in, like, when I was in, like, college, I remember, like, having this really distinct memory of, like, me and a group of friends were talking about a movie or something, and we all slowly realized that we were all spouting the same opinion from the same video essay. We were just in a circle being like, oh, hang on a second, we all watched the Nerd Writer talk about this.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in that situation before where it's like, oh, I watch a movie and then I watch a lot of video essays on it, and then that sort of influences the way I see it, because that's what I remember. It creates the new memory of the movie, if you know what I mean. Like, oh, that's right, that wasn't good, or whatever.
Or even, because, like, even to strip it back, like, just getting on Letterboxd after a movie and seeing bad reviews, and then you go, oh,
especially that, yeah.
Did I actually like it? Like, I mean, Jack and I have both seen the Minions movie. I walked out of the Minions movie and said I cried. That was one of the greatest movies I've seen. I loved that movie. I thought it was so cute. Jack goes, it was okay. It was okay. And I'm like,
I love that for you. Why don't we get an episode of the show about the Minion Wars?
Oh, actually, don't forget we started. I could talk for ages.
Well, you know, I haven't seen the Minion movie, but you know what? I'll come back and I'll come with some insane take about how it's about, like, Napoleon's invasion of France or something. I think it'd be great. It'd be awesome.
Speaking of Napoleon, sidetrack. Did you guys ever watch that movie with, what was his name? Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin Phoenix, yes.
No.
I saw it in the cinema with my mum because she has a huge pervy crush on him. And, like, I was like, oh, Mum, we should go see this. And the main thing I remember about that experience is thinking, it was murdered in the editing room, so I'm sure the 5-hour cut's going to be really good. And the second thing I remember was my mum getting really annoyed at my mum because she kept taking calls in the cinema or from work, and I was like, Mum, for the love of God, you've been tapped 3 times. Shut up.
I mean, like, movie theatre etiquette nowadays is bizarre. Like, it is formed into something, especially post-COVID. I feel like a lot of people just don't have basic etiquette for other people.
Like, I mean, I saw Backrooms recently, and, like, most of the people in my room smelled very heavily of cannabis, and some of them were just on their phone, like, Snapchatting their friends the movie itself. But even though I was kind of annoyed over the etiquette, I was still happy that a bunch of kids went out to go see an original movie, as opposed to just, like, sitting at home on their phones looking at fucking dumb reels of, like, people cutting soap and AI slop videos talking about, like, recent news dramas. I thought it was, like, yeah, I mean, like, they were never quite socialized because I think older people probably failed to socialize them, I suppose, but at least they're still going out and seeing original movies, and I think that's cool.
I agree. I will say, though, that I think, not like it's an original movie, but the Minecraft movie shit with the popcorn and the chickens.
That's where my head went when you brought it up.
It's blown to this whole different thing. Or even, like, Obsession, right? So I saw Obsession probably, like, a couple of weeks before I really started to see it online, before it kind of became this whole thing. And then now when I look at discourse, it's like, well, like, I've seen videos in the last couple of days of people go see the movie and people are talking through it, they're laughing, and, like, whatever, consume media however you want. Like, if you think it's funny, laugh. If you don't think it's funny, don't. But people getting there and just kind of, like, going, like, no, or just kind of going, we've seen this viral clip online, we're going to talk through the whole movie until that one part that we've seen that's comedic to us, then we're going to disregard the rest of the movie. And it's like, yes, good on you for going out and seeing this movie, but your intentions aren't to watch the movie. Your intentions are just, we saw this on TikTok, we're bored.
It's beginning to feel like an event then, like that, because other people are going, and it's actually, like, it's become, like, the most what's the word, income movie horror movie that there's been. What's the word I'm looking for? Revenue?
No, it's one of the highest earning,
highest grossing,
return on profit sort of movies in recent memory.
Yeah.
It's quite spectacular to sort of view.
Yeah, and that is because of that TikTokification of that sort of stuff.
My younger sibling specifically wanted to see it because they saw it on TikTok. And I think that there are worse things for an algorithm to recommend to you. I was sort of thinking when you were talking, Lara, about I had this supervisor during my honors year. Sophia State, shout out. She's not dead. I just wanted to pay respects. But Sophia wrote an article for The Conversation, shout out The Conversation, about the Minecraft movie boom. We have this joke together where my YouTube channel, obviously I have these pretensions of being a writer and so on and so forth, but the best viewed videos I have on my channel are all about Saw, like the Saw movies, just because I thought they were funny and I wanted to talk about them. So just as Sophia is this professional academic, they're most well known for this article about fucking the Minecraft movie that they wrote, and they were they were half despondent about it for a week because they were like, I'm only going to be known as the Minecraft person from now on. Like, what the hell? But the article they wrote was really neat because they were sort of talking about how I'm half remembering an article that I read a year ago, so please forgive me if I'm not 100% accurate, Sophia. But I remember this whole thing about it was kind of this way for kids to sort of connect to one another, to sort of feel they're on their sort of phones by themselves and they're kind of isolated. And then when Chicken Jockey comes up, they all scream and they also feel a connection in a sort of an imagined community, I suppose. And I sort of think that the etiquette of movie theaters is abysmal. And I do agree. And then whenever I see some kids in a theater in Glenorchy or something, I sort of want to punch them and kick them whenever they're on their phones. But I also think that cinema has always been an art form that is always evolving, and I think that this maybe this is just the next incarnation of how people go to see movies and how they talk about movies. So I'm not going to be a complete I agree with you 100%. I think the medium is the message when we're talking about various things such as how internet marketing will go. But, I think I'm slightly less pessimistic because I'm just curious to see what will happen next and how people will reclaim the film viewing experience as opposed to just, I go to a room, I sit quietly, I leave. My ticket means nothing. It's, so I'm curious, basically.
No, I respect that. I think that's a good take. I to some extent, I agree. I'm curious on your thoughts on kind of going back to this nuanced take about forming opinions based on hearing others, on influencers going to movie premieres, or I know Nolan didn't invite influencers to the Odyssey premiere, kind of that gist, because I know that a lot of people, I think that's a really I'm really 50-50 about that. I think influencers promoting movies can be a really great way for people to be encouraged to see cinema and go to the theaters and stuff. But on the other hand, you have this entire wave of people that are seeing it online, forming opinions based on TikTok comments or the influencer itself, and not actually individually consuming the medium. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
How do I sum down the entire idea of the book? I think what we're kind of talking about here is we're almost, since we're talking about influence, we're sort of talking about how people use pieces of media to sort of demarcate their own, for lack of a better term, soul on social media. If we're talking about Letterboxd, we were talking about Letterboxd before, and the top 4 becomes so important in demarcating what you are like at first glance to one another. So I think that inherently an influencer viewing is insincere because the purpose of it is not to garner sincere reactions. It's someone it's basically someone being wine and dined, I suppose. They're going there, there's a big beautiful carpet and they get a cool bucket and maybe they get some tidbits and then they go home, and because they were invited they feel compelled to make content about it. It's inherently a little bit of an insincere thing. But, and also, that system is only really going to allow movies that were approved by a big studio. I cannot imagine, for the life of me, that a bunch of influencers were going to be taken to go see, a Gregor Araki movie, or, a John Waters movie, really countercultural, weird, queer cinema. It's going to be Christopher Nolan. It's going to be various Marvel movies or what have you. Movies that have big enough budgets to be able to fund that kind of thing. So on the one hand, I feel very grumpy sentiments towards it. On the other hand, anything that gets a phone out of your hand is a good thing to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So it's a hydra. I think it's impossible to sort of... Excuse my extremely loud chair creak there. It's a hydra. It's something that I think is inherently difficult to sort of weigh the value of. I think that, like, we are undergirded by heaps of media experiences where we sort of... How do I sort of describe... There's this idea in my book where I sort of talk about... Did you ever, like, when you were younger and you're sort of getting into film or whatever, or music, there is this, like, a movie, let's say it's like a... Fucking, I don't know, the Godfather or whatever. You sort of, like, talk about it a little bit more than you actually like it because you want people to think that you're more clever than you are. It doesn't necessarily have to be like
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clone.
Yeah, everyone talks about it. I'm like,
that is 100% Jack just being a goofy dumbass. You know, like that's 100% Jack right there. This man is all he ever wants to do is talk about Attack of the Clones.
But the sand, you gotta understand.
Yeah. Well, okay. I know we just spoke about getting off our phones, but let's get back on our phones for a second. Letterboxd top 4. What is that?
Well, do I have to explain? Maybe lots of people aren't on Letterboxd. Letterboxd is sort of like a movie community where you're able to log whatever movies you watched. You know, it's attached to IMDb, I think. So anything that's on the Internet Movie Database...
Not to cut you off. This is such a good point. We speak about this every episode. We've never actually explained
what it is.
We've always just gone, everyone knows what Letterboxd is. Please continue.
Yeah, I know. It is the horror of trying to talk about, like, various internet things within, like, very small clusters. Like, for example, I know you just asked me this question about Letterboxd, but I'm going to return to this tangent. My partner, one of the first times I met them, we were talking and, like, they made this noise that it sounded exactly like Borat.
My wife.
My wife. And they did that. Haha, like, king of the castle, whatever. And they were like, I don't know what you're doing. And I was like, Borat. And they're like, who's that? This person had no, like, I'm not trying to disparage Jamie. Jamie is wonderful and awesome. But they had no idea who Borat was because via, like, social media or whatever, they'd just seen reels inspired by Borat. They never heard of him before. So this internet process of, like, taking little stims from something and incorporating it into, like, a fun little tick that you do is so wildly rampant to so many people, and they have no idea that they're doing it. And it's so amazing and fascinating to me. On that note about Letterboxd top 4s, basically, like, it's this community for, like, some people are film snobs, some people are just like, I just use it to, like, catalog whatever it is that I watch. But it's one part you can follow your friends or, like, influencers or critics that you trust or just random users or friends. Or it is this, like, a community in which you attempt to make the dumbest joke possible to get the most amount of likes that do not matter possible.
I think she does that a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's fine to make dumb one-liners, but I feel like it's a bad idea to try and... Not that I'm trying to drag anyone. It's a bad idea to, like, watch an important piece...
Literally all of them I could pull
Jack,
right
one
now
example. Jack, one example.
See, the problem is... I don't remember any of them because they're not funny, exactly what we were saying, so... Yeah.
Oh, bada boom, got him. Well, you know what, I'll judge for myself if they're funny or not. I'll look it up, and I'll see as the big-brained adjudicator upon all things funny. I'll see for myself. I'll do my own research.
Let's go, what is it, Letterboxd.
Okay, we're all, like, even though we were talking about anything that stops you getting on your phone is good, we're all on our phone on stream.
Sitting on our
phone. Like,
we're doing research,
just, like, peer
important
research. So hang on, I thought I followed you, Jack, because I thought that I saw you talk about, like, Attack of the Clones or something at some point.
Yeah, I think I follow you. Yeah, I think
Wow, I'm a bad friend.
What? That makes up for me forgetting the name of the movie.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, it's additions and crosses. It's now even. That's awesome.
Possession. Oh, I watched Possession the other day.
Possession, as in the movie with recently deceased Sam Neill.
Yeah, which is very sad to hear
Rest in
about
peace.
Sam Neill. Yeah.
He passed away in
love
Sydney.
Possession, crazy ass movie.
Love Possession. She's so real.
She's so real.
She's so real.
She could
Speaking
literally
about,
be me.
taking characters away and really forming them. That's me with.
So what's the crappy one-liner for Possession then? I need to know. Is there one, or were you like, you see Possession as a metaphor for the fall of the Soviet Union? Like, what is it?
Wow, I haven't heard that one before.
That's well. Now that you've brought up Soviet Union, that
Oh,
changes
don't even.
things.
Don't even get me started. I read too many books. I've literally right next to me, I've got a book by Anne Applebaum about the Soviet Union. That's literally right there.
The Iron Curtain.
Within arm's
Okay,
reach.
Cool. Hey,
Don't
Jeff
even get
knows
me
it.
started.
We studied.
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
Iron
say.
Curtain.
I feel like we did that. Yeah.
Shout out Gavin Daly.
For history, Age of Catastrophe.
Age of
Or
Catastrophe
the other one.
and we did 2 classes.
History in
with it.
Focus. History in Focus.
History in Focus.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love that
From
for you.
1914 to the end of the Cold War.
Funny
So,
era
whatever.
for the humanities. I like that.
Yep. We started from A to B. World War
A to
One
B.
to.
Yeah. So I think I've lost the plot of exactly where we were going. Are we still talking about Letterboxd, or are we actually going to go into the Soviet Union? Like what Khrushchev was getting up to?
Let's do
what
Letterboxd
movies he liked.
first. Let's do Letterboxd first. Then let's
Dive
Soviet
into the
Union.
Soviet Union.
Yeah, we can do that. I got too many books in my collection about that. So
we
I
both
suppose
are knowledgeable.
we're all knowledgeable.
I was there.
I suppose like Letterboxd to me, as I said, I find there's two kinds of users. There's people who use it just to like catalog whatever it is that they watch, which is more or less how I use it. It's just so I can remember, like, oh, okay, apparently I watched that movie in 2023. It might be neat to rewatch it now that I've had lived more lives. Or it's used by unfunny people to sort of like attempt to distill down a movie they just watched that took, a long time for someone to make and think about into like a dumb one-liner, and then they never think about it again. And like, I think it's fine to do that. It's a muscle that you use sometimes.
Don't
But the
get
thing is,
on
like,
my letterbox. Do not get on my letterbox. Stay clear from it. Stay far away. My letterbox is like, I finish a movie and go, fuck. Aaron
Look,
Taylor
okay, I'll
Johnson
give you
is
like
really
my
sexy.
top tier. I'll give you my top tier example of what I hate. Okay, I'll give you
Okay.
my top tier example. I made that extremely long video about the zone of interest. Right?
Yeah.
It's this quaint little melodrama set in the middle of Auschwitz. Like it is a very patient adult, very scary meditation on the nature of humanity and the banality of evil. And one of the top reviews on Letterboxd is some girl being like, the mother in that movie, she's so cunty slay. She's evil. And I'm like, you need to get off the internet, babe. This is not the time or the place.
I totally agree with that though, and I think that I love like a little one-liner if it's after like a dumb movie, right? If you get to the end of the movie and it was shit, then you're like, oh, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And also like for me, like I don't have time to write video essays. Like I'm not. Some people have essays, but I remember Jack and I walked out of seeing Nuremberg, and we kind of both were like, how do you even comment on that? Like, how are you supposed to write a letterbox review on something that deep, like such a nuanced topic? Because it's
I don't
heavy
think
topic.
I even
So it's
did
like,
that because, yeah.
Yeah, so when you have a video of like Auschwitz and, this deep stuff, and then someone goes, cunty slay, it's kind of like,
Cunty slay, yeah.
well, that's not really funny because, I mean, this is inherently not a funny topic.
No, it's time and place. I completely agree. If you watch fucking, I don't know, Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2, you don't have to write a fucking treatise about
Paris Hilton.
Latinx
No.
racism
Oh my
or
God.
whatever, You don't have to do that, that's fine. Do a dumb one-liner. I suppose my annoyance comes from people who just like do it out of habit and they don't think about it and they never actually think about movies beyond entertainment. They just treat things like junk food, like give me more. Nom, 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 nom. I suppose that's more where my frustration comes from.
Like Cookie Monster.
Exactly. People who watch movies like the Cookie Monster. That's my... if I see that, I'm real upset.
Speaking of Cookie Monster, which side of the Berlin Wall was he?
No, that's actually tough. That's a really good question.
I'm just saying.
Which side was the Cookie Monster on? Well, based upon... On the one hand, you might get state-made cookies. So if he's on the eastern side of it, he might be able to get various rations to be able to get reliable amounts of cookies. However, on the west side, the capitalist pigs and so forth, they probably had enough spare income to make endless low-grade horrible cookies. And Cookie Monster... I don't feel like Cookie Monster is someone who, like, savors a cookie. I feel like he's someone who just eats them all at kind of
He just gobbles them up. Yeah.
He gobbles them up, so I sort of
clip.
feel like he would be fine on the west side of the wall because he's not really appreciating an artisan biscuit. He's not like being like, oh yes, this scone, it is so umami, you know what I mean? I feel like he's just like, cookie, nom nom, he's just eating them all.
Yeah, he doesn't care about taste, just as long as he gets a cookie, it's a cookie, you know?
Cookie's a cookie, so I feel like he's going to be on the western side of the wall because he can get abundant cookies of low quality. It's like the Coles brand basic chocolate chip cookie. You're just like, no one's enjoying this. No one's having a good time. No one's yearning after this after a hard day at work. They're just eating it because it's the cheapest thing that they have access to. I feel like that's the Cookie Monster attitude right there.
I mean, full circle moment. I remember seeing a TikTok of someone going out, like an influencer going out and buying I think they were called dream cookies from Woolies, and they're basically just white chocolate chips, caramel, and they're just balls of sugar, and then being like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest thing ever. And I remember picking it up in Woolies and going, that's dry. I'm not paying $8.50 for that because that's clay. I'm eating pottery.
Oh, look, it's also very easy to sort of, with that line of logic I was using, to trance towards, elitism as well, and I do not want to do that either. You can eat whatever, viewer at home, you can eat whatever cookies you like, and I can't tell you whether it's good for your economic system or not. It's utilitarianism at this point. Just eat the cookie that makes you happy, okay? In moderation, don't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So the story in life is eat the cookie that makes you happy.
Eat the cookie that makes you happy. And you should do that with movies as well. But you know what? Maybe think about that cookie with your cookie upstairs.
Oh, that was deep.
That was deep.
That was really good.
God, I'm in anticipation for this book. I'm patiently waiting. If there's a wait list, put me on the wait. Can you please?
Can I be first?
In your what are those things called? At the start of the books, you're true Jack. Blah blah blah. Your
bibliography.
No.
Oh, dude, my acknowledgements were so long. I cut it from the book and I'll do it later. But you know what? You're going in to the NotaPodkast, the best show I was ever on. Fuck you.
No. Just have that one line about eat your cookie.
Eat your cookie.
Eat your cookie. Whatever makes you happy.
You know what? Originally, it was the epigraph. That's what the name of that is. I'm pretty sure.
Thank you.
Originally, the epigraph was Marcel Proust. And you know what? We're not going to take one of the great writers of the 20th century. We're just going to put "Eat Your Cookie."
Yep.
By NotaPodkast. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Proust, who is he? He's French. I don't speak French. Bugger off.
Baguette? What?
What?
So when you publish this book, we're going to have to do a revamped episode just talking about the book. We'll both read it. We'll come back and we'll have discussion.
Book launch.
I'll do is I'll release it. I'll make an audiobook so that way people can not have to read it because it's going to take forever. It's going to be like reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I don't have time to sit down for 1,000 pages of me talking about my inane feelings on media and movies and stuff. You know what, mate? We'll turn it into an audiobook and a fun series of podcasts because each chapter is going to take me forever to explain alone, dude. It's hellish.
I feel so represented and seen right now because I'm an audiobook girl and I'm surrounded by people that go, but you're not getting the full experience of holding a book in your hand. And I'm like, but I'm still consuming the content.
You know what's you know what's not experiencing a book? Not reading it. Just not reading books at all. That is the only way, unless you are skim reading the whole thing and you retain nothing. Okay? That's the only wrong way. Or if you read some bad book and you're just let me enjoy it, it's fine. No, you can think about something. The only wrong way to read something is if you don't engage with it anything, because it's disrespecting the goddamn author of the thing. Read books how you want.
Yeah, I hate it when I do read it. If I do read a book, I look at a page, I'm reading through the words, I get to the end of the page, I'm like, I was just thinking about what I wanted for dinner tomorrow. What the hell was that page about? And then I thought to myself, damn, I'm not even taking it in. What am I doing? I have to go back and read it again.
Literally, this is the thing. I got like every kind of ADHD in the world, okay? Sometimes I read a physical book and I'm like, oh fuck, I was reading with my eyes and not my brain. I just lost 3 minutes. Audiobooks help me focus. They let me snap into focus so that way I can power through from some bits that are boring and I can remember bits that are important, god damn it.
I think it's also very, very easy to kind of zone out on an audiobook as well. Like, I think a lot of people just disregard it as background noise, but you do actually, like, especially if it's nonfiction, because 90% of the books I read are nonfiction, you do have to be paying attention. Like, you have to be thinking about it.
Audience, if you're dropping out right now, this is your warning to get back into it, alright? We're still talking here, alright? Stop zoning out. Come on, guys, what are you doing?
I can't believe you'd get a guest of such pedigree. You'd have
That's
people
what I'm saying.
Goddamn zone out without me.
It's ridiculous.
It's Jacob.
This is the zone of interest, not over there.
Refocus your zone of interest onto the Not a Podcast, the best show around.
Yeah, but no, I'm 100% audio girl. Like, and I think if I have time, sure, I will sit down and read a book. But 9 times out of 10, I don't. Like, you finish work, you have things to do. I would much rather go for a walk, have my headphones in, listen to a book, and, you know, actually get through things rather than being like, or picking up a book and being like, oh, I've read a chapter, and then never picking it up again. Because you just don't have, like, we just don't have time.
And then the problem with that as well is that a lot of the stuff that I read was never put onto audiobooks, partially because it was a previous era of technology, and it was harder to make audiobooks with especially niche audiobooks in like the 80s or what have you. Like the Odyssey or what have you can easily be transcribed onto goddamn cassette tapes. I don't know, a copy of... I'm looking really randomly at my bookshelf, like a copy of Stuart Ewan, Captains of Consciousness or whatever. This shit is never getting an audiobook release, okay? Because no one cares about it anymore.
Jack, what's the closest book you have to you?
Well, that's what I was having a look at, and it appears that I've got a dictionary over there.
Mine's not by your name.
I've got my 2019
I can't quite make out
yearbook.
what that was because it was the white of the book was overtaken by the green screen or the filtering in the background.
Call Me by Your Name by Andre Aciman.
Shout out, Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
What did I?
What's that about?
Gay lovers.
Oh, the movie.
In Italy. Timothée Chalamet. Before he went evil.
He went evil?
Yeah, like, my prime era was when Timothy was like a little gay, like, French twink. And I miss that for him. And now he's like dating Kylie Jenner and like Mice from Christmas Day, and he hangs out with Kanye.
Mice from Christmas Day.
Yeah, twink death is pretty real when it comes to that.
Jack, shut up.
You started.
Jack, get off the show. This is the Angus and Lara show. Piss off.
Yeah, bye-bye. Actually, yeah, we've had really great conversations. We don't need Jack. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Jack.
Jack's gonna go.
I mean, like, if you want to talk to me about like some Star Wars novelization. Oh.
Jack brought back. So for our audio listeners, Jack came back with a gun.
Don't mess with me.
Okay, you know what? You can have your seat back. I'm really afraid of you.
Yeah.
Jack,
I'm gonna give you all the revenue for my channel that I definitely have. I have not made $1 off of the YouTube channel because I don't want to deal with copyright. So
it restricts you sometimes. I feel copyright like on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll give you like $50 or something, and then you're gonna beat on my door, and I have to give you a bunch of like alcohol or something, and I'm like really afraid, and I'm shaking in my little boots. But Jack with his broccoli hair, you know, he's gonna do his goofy spin. Like, come on, brother, you gotta give me the goods.
Yeah, come on, bro. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll roll your cuz.
Okay, so we've had a very lengthy discussion, but we still haven't figured out what your top 4 letterboxds are.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. I forgot about that.
Okay, well, they might be due for an update because there's a couple that I haven't seen in a hot minute. And I've been thinking, I'm like, there's 1 or 2 movies, I should rewatch it, but I've just been more concerned with, like, books of late. My top 4, number 1 is the 2003 South Korean thriller Old Boy by Park Chan-wook. He recently made No Other Choice, which you may have seen in cinemas. Yeah, right. That's all right. I guess I'm just so niche. This is a very... he's popular. I'm not stunting on anyone. I think number 2 is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yep.
The Thing. I need to watch that.
I did
Let's anime
recently
watch this
rewatch
for
it because my partner Jamie was like, I love Antarctic horror. And then I was like, okay, so you've seen The Thing then? And they're like, what's that? And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, that's the basis of Antarctic horror, I always know it. It's The Thing. What are you talking about? You haven't seen it. So then we watched it, and then it was awesome. Of course it was awesome. Number 3 is the Twin Peaks movie, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me from 1991. Which it is it's a bummer. Don't watch it. It's really sad. It is tragic. It is miserable, and I'm a miserable person. And speaking of miserable, part 4 of my top letterboxd list is a documentary called The Act of Killing, which documents a genocide in Indonesia in the 60s, and it is absolutely miserable, and it's one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, I love documentaries. I'm a big documentary girl. So kind of post-doctorate, in this book writing YouTube channel sphere, what's your 10 year, like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, what kind of career are you aiming to go down?
But I have no idea. Like, I mean, like, if you told me 5 years ago or whatever that I'd be at university, I would have been like, that's crazy. I mean, if I managed to get, this is the first question that stumped me because I genuinely am not entirely sure. Don't think I particularly want to go into teaching because it means I have to listen to first year students. And I'm kind of like, no, you're wrong and you're an idiot. No, I'm not really. But like, I don't know if I'd be very good at teaching because, I mean, if Donald Reed was someone who was renowned for going on insane tangents, I feel like I'm someone who would absolutely mug him in the terms of like the insane tangents. And I feel like I'd be fired by the university for going on wilder tangents.
I love it.
Speaking of tangents, I have a small story to tell you. I was driving to work today, and guess who I saw?
I saw recently
Donald
assassinated. Reed? Oh, him. Okay.
Donald Reed. Yep, and he
I
was
hope,
just walking
I hope that he
to work.
lives forever. He's my goat.
What a great man.
Okay, dream guest on your podcast.
Dream guest on my podcast. So I'm starting. So I can't take the not a podcast. I have to host a podcast. And what kind of lowly scum would host a podcast?
Or your YouTube channel. Like, who's your dream guest?
On my YouTube channel. I mean, I feel like I want to hear Werner Herzog go off. I would have loved to have tried to explain my thesis to David Lynch before he died. I feel like I'm just listing my art grandpas and grandmas at this point. Like if I can get like Helen Garner, David Lynch, a bunch of people who I just have thought about for a long time to talk to me about like and shoot the shit with me, I would be very happy. In terms of peers, I'd probably just have to list like a bunch of like authors that I really like that are like niche. And I don't like none of them are coming to my head at the moment. Apart from me just looking at my book collection and being like, oh, it'd be really fun to have Charles Taylor, and he'd have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Who is this like weird Zoomer, and he's talking about like internet spirituality. I just care about like desecularization theory, you know? I'm a respected sociologist and philosopher. Leave me alone, child.
I think you'd be down. I think the worst you can do is email him and, wish for the best.
I will say, like, when you are at university and you say, hey, I'm a student, I just learned that you exist in a different discipline. Can I come have a conversation in your chair with you? They often will be like, hell yeah, come and sit in my chair and talk to me about this stuff. I love the glory of it all.
Yeah.
People love to yap. I love to yap.
You do love to yap.
Yeah. It's like people go like, can we come on this not a podcast? And I go, yeah.
You can, please, for the love of God.
And I'm like, do we need to have specific to talk about? I'm like, no, we'll find something.
You find something, like I said, it's... I very much, like, how do I sort of phrase in my head? It's like, I think that, like, programs like this, not to ask anyone's D in particular, but, like, I think that, like, little forums like this that encourage long-form conversation are ultimately the antidote to brain rotting on social media. And whenever I'm able to get on with some people and talk about things in a very chaotic, non-linear fashion, it always makes me very happy in retrospect. And I hope that someone at home will be like, who the hell is Charles Taylor or Werner Herzog? I'm going to Google them. And then they're like, oh, they're kind of boring old white dudes.
Yeah.
We're going to go down that track.
I think that, like, not that we're a podcast, but I think that podcasts quite often get a bad rap. It's like, they're so saturated and blah, blah, blah. Or like no one wants to listen to an hour and a half. Because I remember when we very first started, our first couple episodes, we cut so much because we were like, no one's going to want to listen to an hour and a half.
We cut more than half.
Yeah, we cut so much because we were like, no one's going to sit down and listen for us like this long. And then, we start putting out longer episodes and people listen to the whole thing and we're like, oh, like people actually like care about this. Like people care to listen for the whole hour and a half, 2 hours kind of thing. Like they will take time out of their day to do it.
It's like, for me at least, I find within the way I consume my own media diet, a program such as this is often like, it's not a place that I turn off my brain, but I find it more relaxing than having to focus on intense books or what, my intense job or whatever. And it's like, whether it's someone that I know IRL and I'm like, oh my God, what is Anisha up to these days? You know what I mean? Or what have you. I'm like, oh my God, I get to have this little person in my pocket and I can listen to their little thoughts, and that's kind of awesome. It's also just like, there's episodes of the program that I've watched. I'm like, I have no idea who the hell that is, but I want to listen to Jack and Lara talk for a little while. And it's just like a warm, comforting little thing because I feel like even though I'm speaking to you IRL and I am within the NotaPodkast cinematic universe at the moment, it's
NCU.
kind of a way to sort of overcome like the sort of parasociality of the whole thing. There is an intimacy, even if it is kind of parasocial. You're engaging with a version of me and I'm engaging with a version of you, but nonetheless, there are sincere moments in the middle, and I think that's about the only thing that you could ever want really in your like media diet, I suppose.
Yeah, oh, that's so sweet. That's such a nice way to put it. I do like, but I mean, I definitely feel that just in this kind of like sphere of media content there is a definitely social element to it. I mean, like I recently just moved to Sydney by myself, and like you go for a walk and you're like, kind of bored, and you listen to a podcast and you're like, well, actually just hearing, like having, not that it's a direct social interaction, but just hearing conversations and hearing people speak, it's like, it becomes a kind of form of social interaction in itself.
100%. Like, I find, like, if I'm depressed after a day or whatever, there's certain YouTube videos that I will go back to, whether it's like, I don't know, Red Letter Media or something, or like even just specific video essays. I just call it like friendship simulator serotonin, where it's like, I just get like, even though I've watched this video a bunch of times, it's kind of like, it's a reliable way to sort of bring myself up back to a normal equilibrium. And I think that there is like an intense value in that, even beyond the fact that this is kind of what we do and we sort of contribute to an entertainment system. I still think that like it ultimately is kind of an effort of like doing unto others as you've had people do to you in a way. Like I make the video essays and then sometimes I get a comment. Most of the comments I get are from dumb people being like, oh, do more Saw videos. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to talk about Saw anymore. Like that was a very specific point in my life where I'm like, these movies are kind of funny. Let's go. Maybe I'll make a video about the nature of like melodrama in Saw, because I think that's kind of interesting, like how Saw is kind of a soap opera. But I don't want to talk about Saw 4. You know what I mean? I don't care about Saw 4 in particular. I'm like, I'll talk about like genre analysis, but like that's about it really. But yeah. Like even though I'm often annoyed by that and then like people spouting conspiracy theories in my YouTube channel DMs, which happens because I made videos about conspiracy theories and that wasn't a smart thing to do if I didn't want to have people on my phone blowing me up and being like, you're ASIO. And I'm like, you have no idea how little I respect that idea, dude. Like, holy shit. But every now and again, I'll get someone who says like, oh, wow, I fell asleep to this and then I woke up happy. And I'm like, wow, that just made my day feel really wonderful and weird. And that's a really nice sentiment that I get to carry with me, that I get to impact someone's life. And yeah, it's this incredibly weird thing that we sort of find ourselves in. And yeah, it's I just, as I said at the very beginning, I think it's just programs such as this are antidotes to not thinking, I suppose, and I like that. So bada boom.
Yeah. I think that also, just with that, just kind of just with everything that we've spoken about, the book, the YouTube channel, I guess, do you have any like final thoughts, like is out of this whole conversation, or just out of like your book in general, or just anything that's been sitting with you for a while that you would kind of want to be your takeaway, like out of all this?
I'm yet to finish the book, so I don't know what my final statement will be just yet. I think that the only thing that I think that I was partially, along with like having these little mental problems in my head of like me worrying about what to do about X artist who was cancelled. Like, how would I deal with that album that I once loved? Like, what do I do with that? Beyond that, I just became really fascinated by, I just see little tweets. And there's this idea that, like, I read something else in another book recently where the guy was talking about how there's no way to measure a tweet that stuck with you for a long time but you didn't like. Like, something that just kind of wormed its way into your brain and you thought about for a long time, but you can't even go back and find it because the author deleted it. You know, I think that, like, the way that people tend to demonize social media is somewhat valid because a lot of dumb bullshit happens on social media and a lot of terrible social problems have happened from social media. But I also am as passionate about thinking about how it's this kind of, this place that informs us geographically like our cities do. I think that, like, I was spurred on to write the book because there were smart young people who were saying tweets. Like, they would be like, oh, we've reinvented the Protestant ethic with media consumption. And then I'm like, hang on, is that right? And then I went to go read, like, 15 books, and I was like, oh my god, this tweet is correct. And I don't think that, like, a tweet is any less valuable because it only has, like, 127 characters or whatever the fuck it is these days. I think that, like, people exist and people spark ideas in other people, and I think that all I want to do in my life is just collect the little piffy thoughts of other people and then just kind of mold them and sculpt them into something that's really big and beautiful and then credit them later for inspiring me.
Great, that's a very lovely final, like...
I did it! I'm so good!
Yeah, I was gonna say that was lovely. Yeah, so with that concludes this kind of episode. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.
This has been a great episode. I really...
In 70 years,
Beautiful
we'll do the
insights.
70-year-old episode, and then when I get the book coming out, I'll come back on again.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or if you get really bored and you want to tickle me about the Soviet Union, we can also do that.
Maybe we'll have a sneaky little special on the Soviet Union. What do you reckon?
I would say you can come on our Patreon and we can have a Soviet Union special.
Yeah, there we go. That's it.
Yeah, but just kind of wrapping up, do you want to shout out your socials? Your YouTube is TheOleRazzleDazzle, is that right?
The Old Razzle, if you put it in social media as, like, into Google as at TheOleRazzleDazzle1, it generally comes up, but because I made videos about conspiracy theories, it's really hard to find the channel. Unless you look up Saw 6, because I have a very high viewed episode about Saw 6 randomly, which is very funny. Outside of that, you can typically find me on TheOleRazzleDazzle on Facebook. No, but not Facebook. That's I don't want you to talk to me on Facebook, actually, dear viewers.
We can
just comment on my YouTube videos, that's also fine. Instagram, you can find me. I suppose I'm active on Letterboxd as well these days. I'm actually watching movies again, so you can see my takes on... I watched The Death of Stalin yesterday. It's pretty good.
I love The Death of Stalin. That's one of my favorite comedies.
And I think I watched Climax, which is a weird, scary French movie about people dancing after being spiked with LSD and their punch. Kind of awesome.
Do you have Goodreads?
I have Storygraph because randomly... what's my Storygraph? Because I only have one person who follows me, and it's my friend Peter. Let me see if I can find it, because I want to actually... I'll shut up. I want to be goddamn Storygraph famous. I don't even know if you can be Storygraph famous, but I want to be the first goddamn Storygraph influencer, goddamn you. It's
link
also
all these
at TheOleRazzleDazzle.
Yeah.
We'll link all these in the description so you guys can find it.
Yeah.
Yes, if you don't do anything else, don't watch the YouTube video essays, don't read the book, follow me on Storygraph.
Okay.
Storygraph it is.
This 2-hour conversation could have just been... Boom.
Storygraph. Goddamn Storygraph. And then you can see that I've read 74 of my 120 books this year.
There you go.
Yeah, good for you. My New Year's resolution's 15.
15? All those books are books you wouldn't have read before, and you're going to be smarter after reading them. And that's
true.
Awesome. Don't do what I do. I don't have much of a social life.
That's not true. You're here on the critically acclaimed NotaPodkast.
Yeah. And it was wonderful being here. I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
We'll see you when your book comes out.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the outro. Dun, 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 dun. What's that from?
Hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know, but it's not the Bible.
You've heard it before, though.
Yeah, I've heard it before. I don't know what it's from.
Oh my god, Nardwar.
Oh, doot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Imagine if we can get,
Nardwar on.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Who says we don't already?
I would say we're the Australian equivalent to Nardwar.
Yeah, well, I think he's the non-Australian equivalent to us. We're the real ones. He's just
number one.
Yeah,
number one.
Number one.
What an episode!
That was a really great episode.
It was a lot of talking, wasn't it?
It was a lot of insights, a lot of wow, yeah.
The mind and
it got
stuff.
me thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
The stars, Interstellar. No, but sorry, my bad.
And did you see that I'm sure that all of you keen listeners heard my Interstellar dig halfway through.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that.
Well, you didn't say anything, so I think you agree.
Because everybody knows that you're wrong, and there's no point beating a dead horse, So that's why I just let it happen. Let it happen.
I was going to say Tamale and Parle.
Yeah. Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
But that's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wrap of Not a Podcast episode
14. Yes, 14. It's hard now because we're going into the Roman numerals where it's like XIV, so there's and then it's going to be X whatever. So it's slowly...
Yeah, we didn't really think about this one, did we?
No. I just thought it was cool because, Star Wars like that, like Attack of the Clones.
But the exciting news now is 14 episodes means an episode every day for 2 weeks.
Wait. Episode every day for 2 weeks.
Jack, how many days are in 2 weeks?
That's 14!
Whoa!
I was just taking it slow for the people out there who...
He was just testing me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. You always got to make sure in this day and age.
For the dyslexics.
Yeah, and for the AI. You never know when it's AI. No.
Well, we do with our trusty...
Oh, true. Check AI.
Check AI.
Check AI.
Yeah.
For people who don't understand that, that's our what was it? Our power... Our business idea in media futures or something like that.
Yeah, media futures...
Shop. And then if you search on Google now, someone's actually done it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were the originator. We should.
We should too. For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, Jack is also joking.
Maybe.
Jack does not represent our legal side of this company.
No, we are hired by Butler and Butler.
Alas, with the end of the episode, make sure that you guys check Angus out.
Yes, subscribe to all of his... The TheOleRazzleDazzle on YouTube, but then literally any platform. He's got a lot of platforms.
We'll have it tagged under everything.
Yes, in the description below if you're on YouTube, or just go onto YouTube, guys, if you're not.
If you're on YouTube and you can visually see us, we'll put it right here for you. Big link, big fuck us link. You don't need to see us.
Yeah.
Jack, you can't just put a picture of anything you want up.
Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I guess we'll find out.
Maybe you should be watching. Yeah, the audio listeners are so confused. And with that, make sure you subscribe to everything: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio,
yes,
Patreon. Guys, Patreon is up.
Patreon is the most
with a live episode.
And now that it's happening, we're gonna have so much more content on there. It's gonna be amazing. And we've got live streams coming up too, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we've got one this weekend.
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, by the time you're hearing this, it might have happened yesterday. Or it could happen tonight, if you're a quick listener of
You just never know.
You never know.
You never know. There are always live streams.
Yeah.
We are always streaming live.
Exactly. And with I think on the actual episode, we referred to this episode as a stream as we were talking.
Did we?
Yeah. So
okay, we were pranking the audience.
Yeah, but there's a live stream in all of us.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Bye, Jack.
Bye, Lara. Bye, audience, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time on Not a Podcast. Thanks, guys. Love you. Mwah.